Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Khabri and Arun Foot. Well, this is another episode of Candid Football Conversations, and we're here to talk about the review systems in the ISL in Indian football in general. We're talking about today the additional review system that is sort of video review system that has been spoken about by the AIFF. I don't know, first of all, what is this additional video review system? How is it different from the full VAR that we see in European leagues?
VR is a topic that, of course, we could do an own show about in regard to its controversies at the moment, be it in the Premier League, in the Bundesliga, and La Liga, and all the discussions that are there. In India, discussion is a different one. In India, discussion is how to help the referees and use technology to reduce the number of potential mistakes. And this whole discussion about the additional video review system is actually the AIFF saying that at this stage, we want to implement a full VR at the top level of Indian club football at least, but we're not in the financial situation or maybe in an infrastructure situation to actually implement it. That's point one. So the AIFF is looking at considering means and ways of how to utilize technology, and it stumbled upon the additional video review system from FIFA, which is sort of being discussed by FIFA, and India wants to be in the trial phase itself, being cleared by the IFAB board and being cleared by the FIFA council, so that with a few tweaks here and there, some more cameras, sort of TV camera feeds, which could potentially help them install a simpler system than VR, but help them avoid clear-cut mistakes. Like you had certain penalties not given, offsides. So it could help. The question is if FIFA would consider India as a country to be a test case. And secondly, how quickly could such a system be installed, and how quickly could such a system also be educated into the referees? Because that's something which we're very often forgetting. If tomorrow VR is available, our referees are not VR trained. So these are sort of the interlinked topics when you talk about something like an additional video review system.
I know, again, this again a question that came to my mind when I sort of read this. Will this system sort of again be down to the on-field referee? Whether will it be down to him to sort of decide when to go and approach the monitor, or is there somebody sitting in the back room who will advise the referee to sort of go and look at these incidents? How is this potentially going to work?
It is what they call sort of an on-demand video review request system. So there would be a referee sitting in front of a screen, or multiple screens rather, who is watching the game in parallel to what is happening on the field.
Yeah.
There would be a TV on the sidelines of the field for the referee potentially to go outside and watch it. It is like, VR. But they're also talking about potentially that, that teams could have, request for reviews and other things in games. So there are multiple things that are being discussed at the moment. I think the question now is what kind of technical support the referees in India will get in the future. VR looks at the moment unlikely to be happening in the short term. It is most probably a mid to long term project due to the costs involved. And therefore, I said earlier, the AIFF is reviewing opportunities, possibilities of how to utilize technology to help the referees.
Yeah. Arnav, I think although this probably does not sort of minimize the number of mistakes we make on offside calls, just things like that, certainly this would help with sort of penalty decisions, red cards, things like that, wouldn't it, Arnav? And what else would it sort of cover, according to you, in the normal football space, the wrong decisions that sort of come into play when we watch these ISL games.
The question here is, will you be able to get calibrated lines? So that's the first question in regard to offsides. Is that at all possible with the television cameras? They're saying that they need at least a 14 camera shoot to be able to utilize it as a review system. That's one. Yes, I think we're talking about those penalties, potential red card decisions that could sort of be potentially reduced, and that's the small, but on the other side, huge help, huge technical help to the referees to reduce the number of potential mistakes.
I don't know, I just have a question here because it's something that I always think about. Now, you say this does happen. For me, like as a viewer, whenever I see Indian football and certain red card decisions or decisions not given rather, I think it's sometimes down to the referees themselves. They sort of let go of a lot of harsh tackles. And do you think for example, a video review system would help that? Because I still feel like in the minds of the referees, they're just prone to letting these go, and that's sort of what they've been brought up with. I think I'm not sure, but yeah, that's my question.
It's an interesting one because I take one match as a very good example. That is Mumbai City versus Mohun Bagan Supergiant. 7 red cards. The ones at the end for arguing with the referee, I take those ones out. But again, there were 4 red cards in the game. And potentially, if you look at the way that they happened, all of them theoretically can be given,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But in other games, similar fouls are committed and there's not even a foul given, forget even given a card. So
yeah,
that is
exactly.
a sort of creating a benchmark, a standard of refereeing in regard to, one referee is a lot very lenient and another referee is a lot tougher with his decisions. So, does it even out the decisions? So that is, to answer your question, yes, I hope that such a system with reviews would enable decisions to be more sort of similar. And again, I said, to avoid mistakes. I think we've had a lot of penalties this year which were not given. So therefore, if these kind of issues can be reduced, it'll help Indian football. It'll strengthen the referees. It'll strengthen their sort of standing as well. I think there will be less criticism. But again, we will still have the issues. We're seeing it, especially in the Premier League, discussions around decisions, things that seem to be missed, or referees are being lenient here, are being too tough there. Those discussions will still be continued.
Absolutely. I know. Then finally, just wanted to ask you, when does this sort of look look like it'll happen? Do we have a timeline? Sort of. Do you have anything in your mind as to when this could potentially be implemented in the ISL at least?
The first question is if AIFF will be willing to try out additional video review system. That's the first question. The second question is which countries, territories, leagues will be allowed to participate. And when that decision is taken, I hope that India is one of those countries that are going to try out the system. But the question is, again, are referees which have to review these in front of the monitor, they need to be trained. And that's not going to happen like, okay, you go over a weekend and on Monday you can say, listen, our referees are ready. This will take 3 to 6 months, if not longer. So realistically saying, we are in early 2024. If some sort of review system, if it is coming this year, that's the first question, maybe to the start of the ISL in September, October. In the worst case, maybe 25, 26. Or maybe mid-season. I don't think mid-season. Again, then there'll be certain discussions about it. But to me,
Yeah.
it looks more realistic that it will be implemented in the 25-26 season.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Arnava. I mean, thanks for sort of providing insight into this additional review system that is being discussed. Well, again, guys, please do like, share these videos, and subscribe to the channels Arun Food and Sports Khabri. We'll be back with more content. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.